presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to Phil in Puerto Rico. Hey, Phil, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, doing great. Just wanted to thank you guys and the whole crew. Best content on the internet. Really appreciate everything you guys are doing.
We appreciate you growling and prowling with us out here. Phil, how did you find us?
I just typed in live trading in YouTube one morning.
Cool.
I was looking for any type of live trading room. You guys came up, and
awesome.
I know quality when I see it, or at least I like to think so. And I mean, you guys are just a dream. I appreciate everything you guys do.
Welcome to the Tiger family. We appreciate you growling and prowling with us.
My pleasure.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 3:07 p.m. Eastern Time. We got 53 minutes left to go in trading, and you got markets making intraday highs as I come on the air. How about markets? Green across the board. Reversal of the Fed news this morning, as in reports, and they were just reports. But, boy, the market reacting that President Trump was going to fire Powell in the near term. He denies that. The president does. And the market accelerates higher. We're above that price point. And we have the S&Ps right now up by 0.3%, up by 18 points at 63.02. NASDAQ barely in the green by less than 0.1% right now, 23,069. Dow up by 0.4%, 44,440. And we got the Russell up by 18, up 0.8%. Let's take a look at the yields. The 10-year right now, 4.46. Okay, we have had lower price and higher yield. You back things up. You go to where we were July 1st. Okay, you had the 10-year trading at 112.12. The 10-year yield at that point was 4.19%. Okay, pull it up on your charts. Since then, you're down almost 2 full points to 110.18, and you were down almost 2 full points at the lows. And that has pushed yields from 4.19% on July 1st to 4.46%. And we were nearing 5% at the lows of yesterday. So what's happened? We've had the 10-year go up almost 25 basis points, a full quarter point cut. Now, that's the 10-year. You go over to the 2-year, and we go back to a shorter term. And, yeah, the pressure is on, as in there is a reaction here when you talk about the 2-year, and I'm going to pull up the curve in a moment. But we have higher price. You got lower yield, and you have the 2-year right now at 3.89%, down 7 basis points. So it has reacted to the PPI, which was this morning at 8:30. And there's the volatility, the spike higher, and the give back. But we are at higher price, lower yield on the 2-year. And the 2-year trades very heavily dependent in terms of the Fed, where they're going, for an obvious reason, right? Your short term, your 2 years out, that 2-year yield is going to be heavily dependent on where the Fed is setting the overnight lending rate. You jump over to the dollar right now. Now, I told you that on July 1st, the 10-year was trading at 4.19%, and that's when you had low yields, you have dollar weakness. The dollar at that point was at 96.37. We've since bounced to 98.39. So as yields have risen from 4.19, you're now pushing 4.46. We have the dollar up almost exactly 2 full points. Okay. And so what's interesting on the dollar here is if we are going to get lower yields, there's going to be some wind in the dollar's face. Because as you can see, as we've plummeted in yields to 96.377 is where the dollar has gone on a bounce on yields, but the yields are 10-year right now. And no matter what, Chairman Powell's term is done in May of next year. And so names getting thrown around already. It seems like the dollar is going to be facing constant headwinds here, as rates are going to face constant, at least in the near term, pressure to the downside as the pressure's on. And it's not just the pressure that's on, whether he gets rid of Chairman Powell or not. And we'll jump over to the headline. Trump denies he's planning to attempt to fire Powell. Seems like he raised the prospect, and maybe he was speaking grandiosely, if you would believe so, and that's very possible, right? But he spoke to Congress, spoke to some members there. I talked to them about the concept of firing him. I said, what do you think? Almost all of them said I should. But I'm more conservative than they are. So they had a conversation about it. He's out there saying he's not. He's out there saying raises the prospect that he could be removed for fraud. Well, if that's the case, that's the case, right? But nonetheless, the pressure's on, and there's going to be a new chairman or chairwoman come next May, and we'll see how we go from there. But yes. All right, you jump over to NVIDIA shares right now. Quite the acceleration yesterday. Put it back to a 15-minute. And right now, NVIDIA basically flat. All right, let's check out some of the banks. So Goldman Sachs up by 0.6% right now on their earnings this morning. Jump over to Morgan Stanley. Trades lower earlier, and we're spiking higher. We're up more than $4 off those lows, still off by about 1.7%. We take a look at the dailies on these equities. It's been quite a run. Okay, you're talking about Morgan Stanley just trades from $95 at the April lows to $145. Let's put it on a weekly, back it up. And Goldman Sachs, I mean, these banks just been stratospheric. Goldman Sachs was trading at $290 at the end of 23, but just the run from April alone, from $450 to $725, up by 0.6% right now. And the other one, Bank of America, off by about 0.2%. All right, jumping around to other news we have. Yeah, that was the one I was looking for. And it looks like Hassett's in the lead. It's so amazing. I was talking to Teddy Kegstad this morning on the morning program, and I was saying, man, the pressure really is on. We're getting headlines every single day, it seems like. And this article was already out before the news broke that Trump was considering possibly firing Powell. And that looks to be the man potentially in the lead right now. Kevin Hassett and Kevin Warsh. No matter who it is, they're going to share the president's ear on cutting the overnight lending rate, and that's going to be pressure. And you're seeing it on the 2-year today. Remarkable when you look at the 2-year performance, okay? Look at the move, look how it's sustained, and then you look at even the 10-year, not quite the same move, because on the shorter term basis, yeah, there is pressure on. And we'll see if that holds. We take a look at the daily on the markets right now. Take a look at the volume. Yeah, we're going to do some good volume today. In the NASDAQ, we've already done 488,000 contracts. You can see the trend was to lower volume, but this is going to be a spike. We got 45 minutes left to go. It's been a big trading day, and you always get some decent volume on the close. And what are we? 160 points away from all-time highs, but no matter what, we're going to have a good volume day today. Let's see how we are on the S&P. Similar action in the S&P. On a daily basis, you're already above almost anything we've done since June 23rd. All right, we check on gold. So gold with some volatility, on dollar volatility today. And so as I mentioned, when you're the dollar trading, okay, at 96 and change on around July 1st, gold's held up extremely well, right? Yields have risen from 4.19 to 4.46. You've had the dollar strengthen from 96.38 to 98.38. And in that dollar strengthening, gold's held up and even higher at 33.55. All right, folks, stay tuned. We're coming back with Elliot Wellenbach. He is Senior Vice President with Direction, ETF Institutional Strategist. We'll talk some markets. We're going to talk some NVIDIA, some AMD, and some ETFs. Don't go away, folks.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Kekstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Kekstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&Ps up 17 points right now. We're just above 6,300 intraday. Quite a roller coaster ride. And right now, folks, we're going to jump over and talk to our man, Elliot Wallenbach. Elliot's Senior Vice President and Institutional ETF Strategist with Direction. And, folks, Direction has an outstanding lineup of ETFs, leveraged ETFs, and non-leveraged. Head on over to the front page of TFNN.com. Click on those Direction banners, and we're going to talk about some of them as we talk to Elliot. Elliot, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Tommy. Thank you for having me on today. Excited to be here.
My pleasure. You know, we talked to you on Wednesdays, man, and I think we've had you on some wild Wednesdays before, maybe Fed Day or something. And I saw the news hit with Powell today, and I said, oh, man, it's going to be a wild one again. And things have calmed a bit, but we have some volatility, to say the least, news-driven. But I wanted to kick things off with NVIDIA, if I could. And some of those chip stocks, man. NVIDIA, I just pulled it up as during the break, getting you on $4.16 trillion company. We've seen the volatility, China back in focus, but could we talk a little bit about NVIDIA and some of the semiconductors, man? You guys have some lineups there, please.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, earlier this week, NVIDIA was informed by the U.S. government that they're going to be allowed to sell and export some chips to specific countries, including China. Quickly after that, we saw AMD also get that notification, and so that was really helped buoy the the semiconductor and chip market. And like you mentioned, we do have a variety of different ways to trade the semiconductors, both through triple leverage ETFs off the semiconductors, SOXL, SOXS, bull and bear products. And we even have individual names on NVIDIA, on AMD, that are single stock ETFs, 2x bull or single inverse bear. So that's NVDU, NVDD for NVIDIA, and then AMUU, AMDD for AMD. And I think this has actually been it was positive, at least in the moment, kind of trade rhetoric for the overall market as well, that really kind of gave some optimism to that trade talks were moving forward between the U.S. and China off of this move.
Yeah, it's been quite a run, man, to say the least, and it's pretty remarkable. Just even on the equity basis, let alone leverage, NVIDIA goes from 86 to 172 from that April low. And the skies are bright. Now they got China in focus, and their CEO, NVIDIA, talking about, hey, that's billions. So it's in play. To kick off the program, I was talking about some of the banks. Let's talk some of the banks. Some decent earnings, trading revenue from the banks. What do you think about these bank earnings? Some decent earnings.
No, absolutely, yes. Earning season for Q2 is in full swing now this week, with the financials really leading the way. As you mentioned earlier, financial select sector, largest financial institutions in the U.S., about 40% of that basket is reporting this week. We've already seen names JP Morgan, Citi, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America have already reported. And we kind of have seen the same rhetoric out of all of those banks with the volatility that was created earlier in Q2, led to record-breaking profits for the trading team, especially for U.S. equity trading, as well as fixed income that has really helped buoy bank earnings. And we actually have a few products that provide leverage exposure there. We have for the Financial Select, we have FAS, Triple Leverage Bull, and FAZ, which is a triple inverse bear product. And we even have, people sometimes forget about the regionals, but we have about 30% of the regional select sector, that basket reporting this week, and then even bigger, about 45% reporting next week. And a great way to play more of the regional, smaller banks instead of the larger financial institutions. And we've triple leverage ETF there, DPST. Great way to trade it if you're looking for that exposure.
And man, some of those runs, DPST from 46 to 97, and we know, but just tremendous. Even the underlying, just the banks on fire, man, and putting up some decent earnings to warrant some of those valuations. And hey, you mentioned earnings. I know you guys have some great single stocks, and it's remarkable how I think these single stock ETFs, and as a trader, it just makes so much sense to me in terms of gaining maybe some added exposure on the bullish side, whether you want to offset something on the bearish side. But we have some great equities coming up this week with earnings. And if you could tell the investors, some of those, of course, talking single stock ETFs, are those investors looking for exposure to those earnings events.
Yeah, definitely. We actually have over 20 pairs of single stock ETFs now. And when I say pair, meaning for every single stock ETF out there, we have a 2x bull, and then we have a single inverse bear for it. We have Netflix after the closing bell tomorrow. We have, again, single stock ETFs, NFXL, 2x bull, NFXS, 2x, single inverse bear. And Netflix has really been, on a run this year. They've had some really strong content. Earnings are right now expected to be generally in line with expectations, but a real driver for Q2, for the remainder of the year is some of the stacked up content that they have of new shows, as well as some live sporting events. And to go off of just another big name reporting, tomorrow we have Taiwan Semis reporting tomorrow morning before the opening bell. And that's going to be interesting just to see how chips shake out. We had ASML reporting today that shook up the chip space a little bit with a weaker than expected guidance. So I know that Taiwan Semi is definitely going to be in focus. And our tickers there for 2X Bull is TSMX, and then the single inverse bear is TSMZ. So some really exciting earnings this week, and a couple more next week, even with Tesla. That's by far our largest single stock ETF, and that's next Wednesday. So a little further out, but something to look forward to for the traders for sure.
And I think it's great, especially when we talk about earnings, if traders, and we have many of them, of course, in the Tiger's Den, and that likes to trade around earnings, of course, and many times if they're trading equities, for me, and this is me spoken, but you gain access to 2 times the exposure on the event, which just is a good deal. And man, that TSMX and TSM itself is up dramatically, but just for a double leveraged, amazing these moves from 12 to 35 for the entire equity, while Taiwan Semi, quite a run during that time. We referenced China with NVIDIA, but China's got their economy. It's cooking again a little bit, and you guys have some great ETFs for China. Talk to me a little bit about China overall for investors looking for that exposure in their portfolio.
Yeah, so China had their GDP growth that came in right around 5.2% from April to June. Honestly, that was better than expected. It keeps that kind of 5-year target expansion number within reach for the year. And we saw that strong exports made up for kind of the sluggish consumer. And there is some concern right now that, without additional stimulus, that deflation is going to continue to pick up, and it might not be able to really shake out a sluggish consumer if additional stimulus is not injected. We have various ways to trade China. We have Chinese tech, CWeb, that's a 2x ETF of ours. And then we have our classic yin and yang pair. That's a FTSE China 50, and great ways to trade China. And you can see them all on our website. We have a lot more opportunity there as well.
Folks, check it out. You can hit that direction banner right in the front page at TFNN.com. I was scrolling through those single stock ETFs, man. Quite a selection. Elliot, I appreciate the time, man, the education as always, and I look forward to talking to you next month.
Hey, thanks, Tommy. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.
You too. You too. Thanks so much. Folks, click on that banner on the front page at TFNN.com, and we'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's just sitting right near those session highs, up 18 points right now at 63.02. We jump over the NASDAQ 100 and just below where we were this morning. You sell lower on the open at 9:30, and we're just challenging that area right now. And you ripped lower on almost 18,000 contracts. You can see as you get late into the day, especially when you had some of the volatility around the news on Powell earlier today. We're just sitting up here on vapor-thin volume. You're talking about 2,500 contracts every 5 minutes. Not a substantial amount at all. See if we can break higher. Jump back to the yields, as we're sitting right where we were this morning as well. The 10-year at 4.46. All right, jump around to what else we have going on. And yeah, Direction. They have some great products, folks. They are a sponsor, but check out, click that banner on the front page of TFNN. We didn't even talk about gold. They got some of the best gold ETFs out there. Nugget, Dust, to highlight a couple of them. And then, yeah, you talk about those single stock ETFs. I mean, their lineup, you're talking about Apple, AMD, Amazon, Broadcom, Boeing, Berkshire, Cisco, Google, right? Lilly, Meta, Microsoft down the lineup. And if you are trading earnings, it for a short-term trade, getting a double exposure, right? Maximizing, using of the leverage of your funds. Seems like a no-brainer around earnings as we come into that earnings season. And yeah, as Elliot mentioned, we got Netflix earnings coming up. And boy, you got a lot of optimism built into this equity when you just traded in the last year from $587 to $13.41. Now, we've traded off a bit. We have a little bit of selling here. I was talking about this yesterday. July 1st, look at that selling off the top, almost 5 million shares. You back it up, we had a day where we did 5 million shares on June 20th, but outside of that, that's the most volume we've had since May 12th in Netflix. That's selling right off the top at $13.39. You put it on a weekly right now. I mean, this run, man. So on a broader spectrum, right, for one moment here, when you say, okay, what kind of a pullback is possible for a healthy pullback in this equity? Well, you just traded from $162 and almost a straight line move to $13.41. That's not an exaggeration, folks. It's been a tremendous 3 years for Netflix. 162 to 1341. A 382 pullback brings you back down to the consolidation that we were in April. And maybe that's what, a healthy pullback would look like. Now they're the clear leader in ads. It is remarkable how ads, it's all going back to the business model that started everything, right? You bring users in, you serve them ads, you make a lot more money that way per user than you do on a subscription. You jump over to Disney. So Disney right now coming right up to the highs of last year. You made a high of 123.74 in 2024, 124.69, just over that area, but no volume whatsoever. Okay? Now that was the week of July 4th. We did 34.8 million shares. But look at the week it's coming in. 50 million at the top and 69 million as we sold off that top. We just got up there in 34 million, and last week we had 33 million. And this is from an equity up 50%. But look at this trading range we're in Disney. Back it up further than that. And this trading range goes back to, you're talking about 2015. This thing chopped around between 100, maybe 90, okay, up until 120 from the years 2015 till it broke out in 2019, okay. Now, if you recall how this happened, they came out with the news, and I can't believe this is 6+ years ago because I remember it happening. They came out with the news that they were going to release Disney Plus and they were going to undercut Netflix. It was going to be, I think at the time, it was like $4.99. And so the market loved it. They said, okay, they're going to undercut Netflix. They're going to make it super affordable. They're going to sign everybody up. By the time they actually launched, it over-delivered everything, and then COVID hit and you had the entire pullback. But until that point, okay, you're talking about 4 years you chopped around here. Well, we're approaching 3 full years, going on 4 in next April that we've been down in this area again. But this is a tough area to break above. You break above it, though, 150's in play on Disney. So that's where you traded down to. 200's a little lofty at this valuation right now. You got a lot of work to do to get to 200 when you were just at 80 in a straight line move. All right, we check out some of the banks. So like we were talking about with Elliot there, quite the run. And yeah, take a look at Goldman Sachs. You know, this thing makes a run from the lows of 2023 It's a one-way move up to the highs of 2025. You pull back, and do you see how we break above that B point? Let's see if I can. Yeah. The week of June 23rd, we just crush above. That's how you want to break highs, okay? You do 12.4 million shares. We're breaking a high where you did 11.2. And just a one-to-one expansion would bring you up to 826 on that equity. And there's a lot of these in the market, man. A to B, C to Ds. And the thing that makes them so important, in my opinion, is that they break this B point with tremendous volume. Okay, there's one for Goldman Sachs. Check out Microsoft. This is a much larger term. I got too much going on in this chart. Let me take this one off real quick. All right, Microsoft goes from 2023, one-way trip, you trade back, and you break above that P point in the same way. And on Microsoft, you're talking about potentially 594. You're trading right now 505. NVIDIA, you can make the same case. Because look how we break these B points. Right? Right here. Week of June 23rd, that was an explosive move where many equities plowed past their previous highs, and it has not slowed down. And you're talking about potentially 191 on NVIDIA shares, and you're trading right now at 171. All right, we'll take a look at the dollar right now. That's a weekly. We take a look at the daily. Some extreme volatility today on the Powell news. 98.34. Maybe we'll come back and test 100. That was the area we chopped around at from April 14th until you broke lower on May 29th. But no change of trend just yet. As in the 10-year. We already had higher price coming into that news. Now, you had the PPI volatility at 8:30 this morning, pushing a little bit of higher price, lower yield. Well, there's no movement in the 10-year on that news. This is all priced into the market, which is remarkable when you think about it, right? You had a 3 or 5 tick move on the news that the president was going to fire Chairman Powell, and the president has talked about that Powell should be cutting by 200 basis points. That's a remarkable statement when you talk about this market right now and where yields are. And gold holding up relatively well, up $17. And as I mentioned, since the dollar strengthened since July 1st, gold's hanging tough. The dollar's up 2 full points since then, from 96.38 to 98.38. And that's what you'd like to see in gold. Gold hangs tough while the dollar strengthens a bit, and then maybe that's the energy for the next leg. Stay tuned, folks. We'll come right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched The Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. You talk a little bit of Ethereum and you talk a little bit of Peter Thiel. And yeah, he just bought a big stake in Tom Lee's Ether company and the shares are surging. So this company, Bitmine Immersion Technologies, BMNR. Let's take a look at this thing. And Ether, BMNR. So what is this thing? Guess that's what it is. You're up 18% today. Boy, if that doesn't look like a scammy equity in terms of where it looks on the chart, right? It's up huge, up 18% today, but it was at $161 recently. So he disclosed a 9% stake in the firm through his venture capital founders fund. Yeah, there it is. And Ethereum is up 10% today. Yeah, everything's going to get tokenized, man. It is. That's going to be the thing. Shares are happening. There's no reason why shares aren't going to get tokenized. You think about it. That's the beauty of the ledger. That's the thing that early adopters probably saw early on, right? That is the thing. And it is going to happen. There's no reason why when you think about buying a share of an equity. I mean, imagine you are Tesla. Tesla, now, the Securities and Exchange Commission is going to have something to say about this, I'm sure. But why not? If you're going to release 100 shares to the public, right, and then you have to go through all this stuff, they have to trade through the exchanges, etc. No, you release 100 tokens. Each token represent 1% ownership of the company, and those tokens trade on the ledger, and that's it. And you can't break it, you can't fault it, you can't void it. Don't lose the token, and you're, to a certain degree, right? I dumb it down, but it makes that sense. It makes that much sense when you cut it down beyond the technicals. All right, let's see what else I got pulled up. Yeah, the Beige Book. So the Beige Book out today, this afternoon, shows slight increase in U.S. economic activity. Increased slightly economic activity between late May and early July. You gotta like that, though. Uncertainty remained elevated, contributing to ongoing caution by businesses. Businesses experiencing modest or pronounced input cost pressures related to the tariffs. Many firms passed on at least a portion of the cost increases to consumers through price hikes or surcharges, although some held off. Well, we could write that story, right? You know that that's taken place to a certain degree. All right. Yeah, let's talk a little Microsoft. This one's interesting. So Microsoft's Copilot is getting lapped by almost 1 billion ChatGPT downloads. How about it, man? So Microsoft has spent billions on its Copilot, okay? It's staking its future on 3 Copilot branded products, aims to get hundreds of millions of people using its family of AI apps. But yeah, I can tell you, I use ChatGPT on my phone, and they're a partner, but they just surpassed 900 million downloads. That's amazing, man. You only got, what, 8 billion people on the whole planet? Now, they're a partner of Microsoft, and what's amazing is I use Outlook, right? We use Teams. I use Microsoft Word. I use Excel. I use everything, okay? But look at the downloads. It's all about AI. And Microsoft Copilot does not have the same ring as even Google Gemini, but definitely not ChatGPT. But you're talking about 938 million to 79 billion. Now, we've talked about Google and Google Gemini and the AI and their VO3 and all of that at $250 a month. Well, Microsoft's got some catching up to do, man. It's pretty remarkable that you're that far behind and ChatGPT just roasts you like that, and they were a partner. You know, credit to Microsoft for partnering them. When they did that, I think it was only about $10 billion they had to put in originally for almost a 50% stake or a 50% stake, something to that degree. But they have to merge it, and that's what's happening, you know, in terms of literally what it can do, what it can't do, and this is the example that make. Okay, in 2015, the Cortana, which was their assistant, could drop into your calendar and find time for an appointment, compose an email, or set a reminder. But the Copilot app installed on Windows laptops can't even increase the volume or open Outlook. Yeah. They have some issues in merging how they do that and making it available. You know what I always think about? I use any typing, right? And it's like, oh, computers, you're going to have self-driving vehicles, right? I think we can all say, I make the simplest errors when I'm texting someone, and autocorrect is still abysmal compared to what it should be with where AI is. So you're going to have these small nuances, and the devil's going to be in the details of some of these for increasing that productivity. On the other side of that, the productivity is through the roof. Some of the video content creation, the productivity these companies are going to experience with AI, chatbots, etc. Coding, you're going to have managers. You're not going to have coders anymore. The managers are going to manage the chatbots that are going to code everything. Everything. And yeah, the economy is going to change a bit. But you're talking about, man, pretty remarkable. 900 million versus Microsoft's Copilot under 90 million. But with that said, Microsoft's one of the strongest equities in the market outside of probably NVIDIA. I mean, look at this. We have not had a red week outside of this tiny red week that we had on May 19th. Let me zoom it in. Take this off. All right, take that off too. We haven't had a red week, folks, in 3 months on Microsoft. 3 months we haven't had a red week. And the only red week we had, I say that, okay, you opened at 450.88 and we closed 70 pennies lower. And meanwhile, we've traded from 357 up to 508. Amazon's off today, but it's been quite a run as well. Take a look at the volume. These equities had some nice volume last week, man. Look at that volume spike higher to highs recently. 251 million shares. Not quite getting above where we were on 277 the week of June 23rd, though. Jump over to Apple. Yeah, Apple had a really nice July 4th week. That was the week that they came out. Yeah, and they told everybody that they were going to abandon their AI team and they were considering going with Anthropic. So you really had a nice acceleration there for 3.5 trading days. It's going to take some work to get above that week. All right, we're coming into the highs of yesterday afternoon right now. S&P is 6306. We get the NASDAQ 100 up by 29. Jump around to some of the Dow stocks that got clobbered yesterday. UNH was at 300 yesterday. We're flat this morning right now, this afternoon, I should say, at 292. Home Depot was another equity. Trading dramatically lower yesterday. We're off by another 0.4% right now. Goldman was one of them yesterday, clawing back some of that. Morgan Stanley off by 1.6% right now. Bank of America off by 0.5%. All right, folks, stay tuned. One more segment. Coming right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's handling the day well. Above 6,300. A little bit of selling the last few minutes, but boy, outside of where we were, you're solid 1% off the lows. We're positive by 19 points. NASDAQ 100, positive by about 1/10%. Dow, up by 0.4%. The Russell, up by 0.9%. So in 2 hours, no, in 1 hour actually. Yeah, 2 p.m. Vegas time. They start to play down from the final four, and boy, it may be quick because a few of these stacks do not have many chips left. The big blind is 2 million chips. Okay, so you got 19 and 25 million. They basically have what you call push-fold stacks, as in they're not really playing post-flop poker. They have to make a decision whether they go for it or not when you have 2 million for the big blind. And I believe they're playing an ante of 2 million as well. So every 4 hands, you are paying 5 million in blinds. Yeah. Now, what's remarkable here is, okay, they're playing for 10 million up top. Mizrachi's got 445 million chips, which is 178 big ones. There's still 140 million chips he needs to collect, okay? And if you don't understand poker, this is how they handle chops. I'll give you a quick analysis. If you're ever in a casino and you want to do a chop with somebody, okay, the short stacks deserve a lot more than they usually are given in chip chops if you wouldn't know how much each chip's actually worth. So right away, everybody's guaranteed $3 million. That's what fourth place gets, okay? Third place is $4 million. Second is $6 million. The winner's 10. While putting in their chip stacks here, if they made a deal using this model, which is the industry standard model of what your equity is with your chip stack, Mizrachi, and he'd probably take it, anybody would in this instant, he'd get almost $9 million. But the two shorties would still get almost $4 million. Okay? Chip in a chair, they got a shot. It's not done till it's done, but nonetheless, they're playing it down for a new main event poker champion today. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in. We got the markets right near session highs. S&P's up by 21. Have a great night, folks. Have a safe night. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for the morning market kickoff. Thanks so much, everybody.